Well, we are right now on Nesper Drive, and we are heading towards a little cabin that we all rented.
How long ago was this? They got a lot of consistent answers that range back to weeks. So for example, they're all similar accessing food. But the food was great because in most food places, their cases, they aren't using them. That is the sad reality is that food conditions, making the generation was able to get in the area all of those come and the mothers pretty much not out in the wild. But because things pulled out the way they did, people care about their food and they end up there's only so much space at facilities like these to house Disney Bears. Therefore, there is that always belongs to the conditions when there aren't spaces available. Making sure we're doing our part, we see something, say something, support.
You started walking on the shoreline just a little bit about the lake, walk all the way around the entire shoreline of the lake, come back to that point, you walk over 141 miles. Average temperature of the water, just below the surface, right there, it's probably mid-50s. That's the surface. Just below the surface, a few feet, it's around average year-round 41 degrees. So if you're from, where you guys from? Stagecoach tours of the park. When they got in this area, they wanted to get out of their stagecoach, go on a boat ride out on the lake, but the boats were all made of wood. And in the wintertime, the lake freezes up to 3 feet thick, so they would have to take the boats out of the water, put them in those boat houses. There's a chimney, can't hardly see it, but the one on the east side of the building, right side of the building, and they would put them in there, and a couple of guys would build fires in there to get the fireplaces going and get the boats really good, warm, and dried out. It included breakfast and electricity, which was a big deal back in the day. If you look at the hotel from the left, over to the right, you see a bunch of lights in there. Just above it, there is a little widow's walk built on top of it. Just to the right of that widow's walk, the roof line drops off a couple of feet. That is the original hotel. And originally, I would say it looked like the double two-story boathouse because it was built by the Northern Pacific Railroad. And back in the day, they would build hotels in areas with the intentions of bringing the railroad through, which it never made it no further. But the best part about this whole area is the front porch of the lodge. It's got a bunch of benches and rocking chairs on the front porch, real long porch. And most of the time, when the clouds are not so piled up around here, when the sun sets, he came out here in 1871 with the Hayden expedition. Ferdinand Hayden was the leader. That's who they named Hayden Valley after. And they come out here to find out what was going on out here. They heard from mountain men trappers that there was a lot of hot, stinky, bubbly stuff coming out of the ground. And just all kind of crazy stuff going on out here. Nobody believed them. They had glass mountains, which is obsidian cliffs. and stuff like that. So they sent this guy out here with a bunch of professionals, about 30 or 40 of them, and they have photographers, painters, and the Rangers got tired of coming out here trying to keep it straight since it was a private boat. But anyway, they pretty much give up on it. It was a losing battle. So, stayed here for a few more years. In March of 1930, a couple of Rangers decided they were going to come out here and straighten it up a little bit. And they said about the time they got here, you would not believe it, but a bolt of lightning hit the EC water and burned it to the water line. Wow. Fueled by a little bit of kerosene. Actually, it did burn to the water line. And that's what's left of EC waters. We're going to turn the boat around where we can all see it. Most of the boat, or that's most of it, but the rest of it is laying on the bottom of the lake off to the left. I'll come out here in our backcountry boat, which is going very shallow water. We floated over it, and you can see the rest of it still laying at the bottom of the lake. Pretty cool. It's frozen most of the year, so it keeps it pretty well preserved. And at this time of year, the water temperature is so cold, it keeps the wood-boring bugs away. So normally, if this was in the south where I live, it would be gone in like 2 years. Completely gone. And I heard a few years ago, not for sure, that they say if you get caught with a cutthroat, it's $500 fine per fish. And a few years ago, we were docking just like this, and there was a boat, one of our boats pulled in right here where that number 8 is, and 2 guys got out of it with a stringer full of cutthroat. And I don't know how in the world the guys knew it, but the law enforcement rangers, 2 of them met them at the boat, took their fish and them, and we haven't seen them since.
Well.
Yellowstone. So here we are 30 years later, and you can see the old timber sticking up. And look in between them, all the bunch of very healthy little small trees growing up, getting ready to take the place of their granddaddies. So it just shows you how that fire that we observed, we got here right after the fire. I think within maybe months of it. So you could still smell, and this is pretty much it. You can just see how everything was turning. We first of all thought this might be the beetle problem, but if it was the beetle problem, these little young trees would not be doing so well. And you can see the demarcation right there. So yeah, this is definitely the